Today we're diving into something different, those behind-the-scenes heroes who rarely get the spotlight but absolutely deserve it. You know how in sports we're always celebrating the star players? Well, today we're celebrating the MVPs who make everything possible but rarely get the applause. So let's shine a light on 10 incredible jobs that deserve way more appreciation than they get. When you think about it, these folks are basically guardian angels in disguise. And our first unsung heroes literally save lives while most people don't even notice they exist. Number 1. Gymnastics spotters. Let's kick things off with gymnastics spotters. While all eyes are on the athlete pulling off incredible flips and twists, few people notice the spotters literally standing by, ready to prevent catastrophe. These coaches aren't just standing there, they're calculating trajectories, anticipating errors, and ready to spring into action at milliseconds. What makes them incredible is their split-second decision-making. They need to know exactly when to intervene and when to let the gymnast work through a wobble. One wrong move could mean either an injury or destroying an athlete's confidence. And they do this while being practically invisible to viewers. Take that moment at the 2022 World Championships when coach Emmanuel Durand caught gymnast Fadwa Mahmoud in midair. She was about to land headfirst, but he swooped in, somehow got under her, and prevented what could have been a career-ending injury. All in less than half a second. That's superhuman awareness. Speaking of people with superhuman reactions protecting others from harm, let's talk about another group of professionals who put their bodies on the line daily. Number 2, stunt performers. Every time you've gasped at an action sequence in a movie, you are probably watching a stunt performer, not the actor who gets all the credit. These incredible athletes train their entire lives to, fall down professionally. But it's so much more than that. Stunt performers meticulously choreograph danger, making it look both realistic and chaotic while actually controlling every movement. They set themselves on fire, get hit by cars, fall from buildings, and fight multiple opponents, often doing multiple takes until it's perfect. All while the star sits comfortably in their trailer. Most people don't realize that Tom Cruise doing his own stunts is the exception, not the rule. For most films, it's dedicated professionals flipping cars and jumping across moving vehicles at 60 miles per hour. And unlike actors, most stunt performers will never be household names despite literally risking their lives for our entertainment. And while we're talking about speed and precision under pressure, there's another team that makes split-second decisions look easy.
Number of laps of Brad Keselowski ran, you're starting to see their hand there, Kelly, on how long they can run.
And it sounded like Brad maybe didn't. Oh, and you'd see he's just hit a crew member, so this is a disastrous stop for Brad Keselowski. He went through his pit stall. He didn't hear Paul Wolf, his crew chief, call him in the lap before, so they're a lap behind. And now just disaster as he went through his pit box. You saw the crew member get hit in a Tiger, go flying into the two. They have had issues with pit stops before. It's one of the things that...
Number 3, race car pit crews. NASCAR and Formula 1 drivers get the glory, but those pit stops that happen in the blink of an eye? That's where the real magic happens. A Formula 1 pit crew can change 4 tires, adjust the car, and refuel in under 2 seconds. That's not just fast, that's superhuman coordination. Each crew member has one specific job they've practiced thousands of times. The tire carrier doesn't just carry tires, they've mastered the precise angle and momentum needed to position a heavy racing tire exactly right on the first try, every time under immense pressure. 1 second too slow can be the difference between winning and losing a race worth millions. Red Bull Racing's pit crew broke the world record with a 1.82-second pit stop at the 2019 Brazilian Grand Prix. That's not just skill, that's a beautiful high-stakes ballet that happens so fast you can barely see it with the naked eye. Now, while pit crews work magic that happens in seconds, our next unsung heroes create illusions you hear but never see.
Well, not necessarily. Let's see. Quiet, guys. Thank you. It could be a bird.
Number 4, Foley artists. Ever wonder why movies sound so satisfying? When someone punches a bad guy and you hear that perfect thwack, or when footsteps in a haunted house create spine-tingling creaks. That's not coincidence or natural recording. That's the work of Foley artists. These audio magicians create everyday sounds using the strangest objects. That bone-crunching punch? Probably a cabbage being smashed. The sound of walking through snow? Could be cornstarch squeezed in a leather pouch. They work with directors to enhance storytelling through sound, making mundane moments feel epic or terrifying. For The Lord of the Rings, those massive orc armies weren't recorded on some battlefield. That's just a bunch of people in a studio stomping on gravel and clanking household items together. Yet on screen, it sounds like thousands of murderous creatures marching toward battle. The magic of movies isn't just in what you hear, though. It's also in what you see, which brings us to our next underappreciated professionals. Number 5, sports camera operators. You know those perfect shots of a baseball connecting with a bat or a football spiraling through the air? Those don't happen by accident. Sports camera operators are tracking fast-moving, unpredictable action, maintaining focus, framing shots beautifully, and often doing it all while carrying heavy equipment and moving themselves. What makes them especially impressive is they can't say, "Let's try that again." In live sports, there are no retakes. They're anticipating where action will go before it happens, reacting instantly, and delivering broadcast-quality footage on the first and only try. During Major League Baseball games, camera operators perfectly track home run balls from bat to stands, running backward, keeping perfect focus, never missing a beat as the ball travels at over 100 miles per hour. And they make it look easy. Speaking of making the impossible look easy, let's talk about some professionals who wrangle unpredictability in an entirely different form.
Well, this is a cute animal, and I really wish I wasn't scared of it, but I know that it probably could tear me to pieces, yes?
At this size, no.
Okay, good.
Tiger cub. In fact, this is one of the ones I'm gonna have you hold while I talk about.
Okay.
So what you're gonna do, you're gonna carry the bottom, the bum, and then you hold it close against your, right there.
Is this a male or a female?
This is a female.
Okay.
So that's perfect right there. Now sit down, relax. Now you remember the noise I taught you with tigers? It's
Oh, yeah.
That's a chuff, it's a greeting, so you can do that to her.
This is not a...
Watch this. That's it. So what that's telling her is that you mean no harm, and she'll reply back to you, hey, I mean you no harm. Now her finger's getting a little tied up there. There you go. Now, obviously...
She really is.
Number 6, animal trainers for film and TV. Ever see a dog perfectly perform a complex action on screen and wonder how they got it to hit its mark? Behind every animal actor is a trainer with seemingly infinite patience and understanding. These professionals spend months building relationships with animals and using positive reinforcement to achieve behaviors that look spontaneous on camera. But unlike human actors, you can't explain to a dog why they need to look sad or excited. You have to create genuine emotions and capture them at the perfect moment. For a dog's purpose, trainers spend weeks just to get a dog to jump into water and swim toward a specific mark. And they don't just work with domesticated animals. The trainers for Life of Pi somehow got actual tigers to perform complex behaviors safely around human actors. It's a job that requires equal parts animal psychology expertise and filmmaking knowledge. From orchestrating animal behavior to orchestrating humans, our next unsung heroes bring harmony out of potential chaos.
What we do takes place before the music happens. Rhythmic hand goes up before the music starts, and this hand will give a gesture before that sound.
Number 7, orchestra conductors. We all appreciate musicians, but the person waving their arms at the front often gets overlooked as just keeping time. In reality, conductors are doing something far more complex. They're shaping sound through movement and expression. A great conductor isn't just counting beats. They're unifying the emotional interpretation of dozens of brilliant musicians simultaneously. They're making split-second decisions about tempo, dynamics, and emphasis that transform written notes into moving experiences. And they're doing it all through subtle gestures that audiences barely notice. Leonard Bernstein once famously conducted the New York Philharmonic using only facial expressions, no hands, and the orchestra responded to every micro movement. That's not just leadership. It's a form of telepathy developed through decades of mastery. While conductors translate emotional intentions across a room, our next heroes translate meaning across entire cultures.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that?
Sí.
Yes.
Number 8, simultaneous interpreters. Imagine listening to someone speak, translating their words in your head, and speaking that translation out loud, all while continuing to listen to the next sentence. Now imagine doing that for hours with perfect accuracy, while world leaders decide global policy based on your words. Simultaneous interpreters at places like the UN or global summits are performing cognitive acrobatics that most of us couldn't manage for 5 minutes. They're processing multiple languages at once, maintaining cultural context and conveying not just words, but subtle meanings and tones. During high-stakes UN Security Council meetings, interpreters never pause or stumble. Despite speakers changing topics, using idioms, or referencing obscure concepts, they're essentially running the equivalent of a linguistic marathon sprint every day. From preventing linguistic disasters to preventing actual disasters, our next heroes keep the skies safe.
023. Emirates 380 on a 3-mile final, cross runway 12 left behind. JetAirways 542, taxi, holding point November 2, hold short, runway 12 left. Emirates 242, after vacating. Emirates 242, hold November Delta. Affirm after crossing, turn right onto Mike, hold at Mike Bravo.
Sky Dubai 3, Charlie Kilo, good afternoon, hold at Lima 3 Alpha, Quebec. Virgin 1360 degrees at 7.
Number 9, air traffic controllers. We take it for granted that thousands of massive metal tubes carrying hundreds of people each fly through the sky daily without hitting each other. That miracle happens because air traffic controllers are playing the world's most high-stakes 3D chess game. They're tracking dozens of aircraft simultaneously, calculating vectors and speeds, communicating precise instructions, all while accounting for weather, emergencies, and airport capacity. They make split-second decisions where errors could cost hundreds of lives, and they do this for hours on end with minimal breaks. At major hubs like Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, controllers manage over 2,700 arrivals and departures daily. Each of those thousands of flights being guided by controllers who never see the planes they're directing. It's one of the most stressful jobs on the planet, with one of the lowest margins for error. And finally, from coordinating movement in the skies to coordinating it on stage.
It's 243 and sounds 200. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Three Musketeers. Ready for Act 2?
Lights 251. Go.
Act 2.
Lights 252.
Set to music.
Go. Lights 253.
Happening to our characters between the acts. We open with D'Artagnan and the
Go.
Musketeers.
Sliders. Go.
War on the Cardinal. Lush, romantic.
Lights 255 and sound 205.
Run off in different directions.
Go.
Revealing me.
Number 10, theater stage managers. Everyone applauds the actors, but few appreciate the person calling over 800 cues per show from behind the scenes. Stage managers are essentially conducting a complex orchestra of lighting, sound, set changes, actor entrances, and technical elements, all while solving emergencies the audience never notices. During a live Broadway production, the stage manager is simultaneously watching monitors, listening to multiple radio channels, giving timing calls, and ready to problem-solve anything from costume malfunctions to technical failures. And unlike film, there are no cuts or retakes. Everything must work perfectly in real time, every performance. For complex productions like Hamilton, one person coordinates dozens of moving elements with military precision. 8 shows a week, where a 3-second delay could derail the entire production. When an actor gets injured mid-show or a set piece breaks, it's the stage manager who ensures the audience never realizes anything went wrong.